An example of an accordion book. Let's look at 3 examples of an accordion book. The first book is called What is a House? The size is 14 by 17 centimeters. Materials used: watercolor, colored pencils, and markers. The plot of the book reveals the title. What is the house? How can you show a house without resorting to a standard form image? That is, what does the house mean in a philosophical sense? Home is what a person takes with him or with her. This is the internal state of a person. The whole book is built on associative rows, where each word is reproduced through the image of objects. To show the symbol of words, various plots and pictorial forms were used. For example, vases are where memories are stored. The bark is a dream image. The image of a bird is a symbol of important words and conversations. At the end of the book, feelings are depicted in the form of greenhouse where flowers are kept. The composition of the book ends with the image of cyclist always looking to the future. In the book, I tried to work with color accents and depict contrasting forms to create a certain rhythm in the composition. The formation was mainly based on simple methods: the use of lines, planes, points, alterations of shapes and deformation. I used the same methods in the next 2 books, La bottega della bicicletta and Maratona ciclistica. The book La bottega della bicicletta was created on the basis of a wave-like composition. The format of the book is 14 by 17 centimeters. By the way, we will work with the same format. Main materials used: markers, colored pencils, and watercolor. The plot is about how the city dwellers carry their bicycles to the bicycle workshop to the master Nicolo. At the end of the story, the happy owners of bicycles are living for their own businesses. If you pay attention to the composition, a wave-shaped composition runs up and down. There is an accent on increasing and decreasing, alternating large and small. The composition of the book begins with a bright action, movement and tension. In the center, the movement becomes static and ends with a calm leaving the image in the form of living bicycles. The third book that we will consider is Maratona ciclistica. The main composition is made on the basis of forms that create rhythm and movement. It is maintained throughout the book. Here, I put the main emphasis on the form and work with the sport. Unlike in the previous book, where the main element of graphic expressiveness is the line. In this book, I used mostly watercolor and colored ink. The main character of the book are animals on bicycles. The main task was to show movement and speed. To do this, I used a rhythmic composition, rapidly directed to the right in movement. Line drawings, bicycles, were added to balance and connect the color patches. For example, animal figures. Negative space, that is white space, is obligatory around the main animal figures. This is important so that a rhythm is created in the composition and the image breathes. All movement is built on the waveform to keep the image active. The culmination of the composition is in the middle of the book, where the main contrasting forms are depicted. At the end of the book, the intensity of the movement eases up and more line drawings appear to reduce the tension and bring the story to its logical conclusion. Now let's look at several main types of composition in an accordion book. Basically, everything is built on a certain rhythm. We need to draw visually 8 pages. Throughout the entire area of the book, we must build a harmonious and balanced composition. First, the composition can be built on the basis of wave, where the main movements increases and decreases, leaving a negative space. At the same time, everything is built on the basis of smooth and soft transitions. Second, when the composition is built on the basis of broken and angular shapes and lines, but rhythm is also visible, thanks to the free space between the shapes. In other words, air. We also add small accents in some places to balance the overall composition. The main plot can be expressed by a steep, angular composition or soft, smooth composition. It depends on what topic you would like to cover. Third, here the composition is built on the basis of individual figures, which also form a rhythm, thanks to negative space, that is, a wide space between illustrations. In other words, we create a game of shapes while filling this space. Some figures are large, others are small with certain accents to balance of the composition. An example of the fourth and fifth compositions is based on the combination of both smooth forms flowing from one another, as well as angular and sharp figures. At the same time, you should not forget to keep a balance between them so that there is no oversaturation with graphic elements. These are the main types of composition that we will use for our books and building an interesting plot.